Ja, hallo, hier ist Raphael Vogt, LowBeats TV. Wir sind auf der High End 2017 und ich habe hier einen interessanten Gesprächspartner neben mir. Der Mann heißt Charlie Randall und Charlie Randall ist der Chef von McIntosh und der McIntosh Group und dazu wird er uns hoffentlich gleich ein bisschen was genauer erzählen. So, thank you for being here, our guests, Charlie. Maybe we'll start with a simple thing and you explain a little bit who you are.
Okay. So my background is obviously engineering. I'm a very technical guy. I've been with the company McIntosh since 1985, so it's 30 plus years now. Came up through the engineering department, ultimately became the vice president of engineering, and then after 2 years of vice president of engineering in 2002, took over the CEO of McIntosh, and then in 2017, the beginning of, I took over the CEO of the McIntosh Group.
Okay, which was not the McIntosh Group originally. So what's the history on, well, the group as a group?
Okay, so the group originally was Fine-Sound, and Fine-Sound was actually had a private equity sponsor from Italy, which was decided to exit the company in 2012, or excuse me, decided to exit the company in 2014. And when they decided to exit, at that point, we moved it back to the U.S. with a different equity sponsor, excuse me, and at that time, we renamed the group to McIntosh Group.
Okay, so what brands and companies does this involve?
So inside the McIntosh Group, we have several brands. We have obviously McIntosh, Sonus Faber, Wadia, and Audio Research, and then a small separate company which really was the distribution company for Sonus Faber in the United States, but through Sonus Faber, or through the distribution company called Sumiko, we actually have our own line of subwoofers and cartridges, but we also still distribute Project Turntable, which we've been doing for 10 years.
Yeah, that's
for the U.S. market.
That's quite a span of products, and so that makes you more or less the most powerful guy in the world regarding high-end audio, correct?
We seem to think so. Yes. No, we have a great, compelling brand portfolio. Obviously, history is one part of it, but also products are another part of it, and we stay up on technology, always looking for new materials. If it's for Sonus Faber in the speaker arena, for McIntosh, it's really about staying up on technology. Rather, the latest thing is streaming, even to the point where we have the legacy products of even turntables are now very popular again. So it's we play in all the arenas from solid state to vacuum tube, and then of course Audio Research is really known exclusively for being a very high-end vacuum tube manufacturer.
Yeah, but there's also a very broad band of markets that you're in, because you have installation products, you have traditional hi-fi, you have home theater. How does this come together, and is there any coordination between the brands?
So yeah, I mean the markets are a little bit different as you move around the world. If we talk about North America for a minute, about 50% of our business is two-channel, and 50% of the business is home theater. So obviously North America's got the largest home theater market. As we move into Europe, there's some home theater, but it's more around the 70-30%. I would say, for the European market.
We're talking about the McIntosh brand presently, or talking about?
No, because Sonus Faber falls into that too with the home theater loudspeakers. Okay, and then on the Asia Pacific side, it's pretty much 100% a two-channel market, except for mainland China. If you talk about audio research, it's basically 100% two-channel company.
Yes.
So therefore, they're only playing in two-channel. But again, they experience, good market penetration throughout the world.
Yes, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Are there any other brands on your agenda to occupy?
Currently, at the moment, we want to focus on the existing brands that we have. I mean, we're always looking, at different scenarios, but nothing that's really wanting us to move out and do it very quickly, because inside the group itself, we have a pretty big initiative with the lifestyle category. Because and the primary reason for the lifestyle category is not to build a lesser version of any of the brands, but it's really to offer a premium solution in the lifestyle category for really attracting a younger customer that we can ultimately get them into the normal audio, the business that we're all familiar with and have come from. So
It seems your brands are very separately if it comes to their products and engineering. Is there any tendency to more or less integrate this, so one does a good DAC which another company can use, or the McIntosh speakers will in the be built by your other speaker company, or will this stay separate islands within?
So I would put it this way. Inside the group, obviously, we're looking at new technologies that, maybe it's from a loudspeaker that maybe interests both McIntosh and Sonus Faber. But more importantly, even on like streaming technologies, if we pick a platform, we want to be conscious to make sure that, especially if you're talking about like this lifestyle product category, that all of the brand's products would work together. So if you're talking about multi-room streaming, meaning, devices similar to many big players that are out there like Sonos, we want to make sure that the McIntosh products, the Sonus Faber products, and if audio research decides to move into the category of lifestyle, that they're all going to work together. So inside the group, the customer can choose which best fits the solution that they need for the room.
That makes a lot of sense.
In the case, in the case of the engineering or design side of things, we really try not to we do cross collaborate on the technologies, but when it comes down to each of the product idealizations, that's really left up to each of the brands, because we don't want to change the DNA of either company. So for instance, Audio Research's vacuum tube technology that they use in their designs compared to McIntosh is a completely different design. However, like you said about streaming, sure, we can all benefit. Whether it's a USB audio solution, we cross-collaborate and talk about what's the best way to do that so that we can share the resource inside. But as far as productization, that's left up to each one of the brands to implement that technology as they see fit.
Okay. Where do you think different aspects of high-end audio is drifting in the future? So basically, where do you think we will be in market and in products in 10 years?
Well, if it's any indication of the show here at the MOC, I would say we're in pretty good shape, because I've never seen so many people at the show before in my entire life. So it's good to see the enthusiasm around, the existing product that the market has to offer today. And then obviously the biggest thing around keeping the customer enthused is who knows what the next generation of software for, whether it be video, home theater, those types of application, or even music. We've seen big changes in what you can stream now off the internet, from different bandwidths to high resolution music. And that's only going to improve, which obviously is even better than what you can buy on a CD recording today. So.
Yes, which is quite amazing.
Yes.
And it came in quite a short time.
Yes.
So where do you think the markets will drift? More analog, more digital, more retro, more streaming? The high-end market. The mass market might be something different.
I think the high-end market for sure is always going to embrace the legacy product, very similar to vinyl. Only because if you think of the real serious audiophile or music lover, I like to classify them as two different types of people. But obviously the audiophile likes music, but they're also really into the product. But because of the portability of the streaming and stuff now, it's created a lot of music lovers because they can have music basically anywhere. However, a customer of anything, whether it be an automobile, if they're an enthusiast in automobiles, or if they're an enthusiast in audio, they're always looking to hear something better. So whether it be, from a $200 headphone all the way up to a $5,000 headphone, they expect something
more
experiential from the price, right?
Yes.
And I think in the case of the technology shift, I think you'll see it proliferate. Obviously, the mass brands stay up with the technology because the younger consumer, that's what they're looking for. But also because of the higher bandwidth and streaming, it's actually a better medium than what you can get on CD now. But the customer's not going to abandon CD because they've made a big purchase of probably 500 to 3,000 CDs, actual software. And you always need a good player to play that on. And it's very similar to the resurgence of vinyl because people think they can hear more from the vinyl than what they can hear from on a streamed piece or even a CD quality, which is true.
I think the haptic aspect is something which is quite important. So you really have your music in the hand. It's not virtual.
It's a tangible asset. I tell my children every day, they used to laugh at the record player that's in my house, and now they totally understand it because I told them, I said, you guys are missing the most experiential part. I said, when a new album was released, and before I had a driver's license, I had to wait for my parents to take me to the audio store so I could buy the new album, and then wait impatiently to drive 20 minutes back home before I could listen to it. However, in the car, I was able to read the jacket, read about what the artist was thinking, see what songs were on there, see the lyrics of the songs. So it's really it's more than just listening to the music. It's an experiential thing when you pull the album out of the jacket, clean the record, walk up to the system, sit down, maybe have a nice glass of wine, sit back, relax.
Yeah,
and
it's
enjoy
more an
the
event.
music. Exactly. No different than if you're into fine wine or smoking cigars, those types of things. Yeah.
So you don't think that will pass away?
No.
Me neither.
No. Me neither. And like I said, looking at the attendance of the show, I think there's a lot of enthusiasts and more every day.
Price-wise, we've experienced quite a crazy widening scissor in prices for the hardware. Mm-hmm. Stuff gets more and more crazy expensive or unbelievably cheap. And the middle range, how can I say, the normal, what the normal guy can afford is somewhat floating away. Do you see this coming back, or you think this scissor is opening more and more?
I think, I see it coming back, and in fact, we'll be introducing some, what I want to say, in the McIntosh lineup, some lesser expensive, more, I don't want to say minimalist, but less product-rich features to get the younger person their first kit, to get into it. At about a 30% price point less than what we play in today. Oh. And it's not that we're going away from our roots or the core. It's just a lot of the manufacturers, in my opinion, as new amplifiers come out, and McIntosh used to be guilty of this too, we get what's called power creep. So you're looking for something to do for the new model. So first thing you do on a power amplifier, increase the power. Eventually the power, obviously you're paying so much money per watt, and we end up increasing the power to the point where we have nothing at the entry level. So we're actually going back and filling in the entry level instead of raising all the power on the amplifiers that exist today. And that's going to allow customers that maybe wouldn't look at McIntosh for the first time because of price point. However, like I said, at a 30% less price point to start the entry level category is affordable.
The other brands, Audio Research and so on?
Audio Research is the same. A little bit more difficult to do it with Audio Research, only because of the vacuum tube technology is expensive to play in. But yeah, there's actually models coming in before Audio Research would basically differentiate from definition series to the ref series to the GS series, where we're actually making more of a linear approach to the lineup, so that there's an entry-level product that is again less features, but the same performance in the audio side as you move through the preamplifiers or the DA converters or the power amplifiers.
That sounds promising.
Thank you.
Any present pet project or
Present pet
your
projects.
most favorite, the best loved invention of your company in the past few years?
Well, for Sonus Faber, there's been quite a change. The SF16 is a really unique piece. It's at the very premium segment of the lifestyle category, but it's very much an eye opener. And integrating DTS Play-Fi into that product is a solution, along with the RS100. And these are products more for the person that's maybe going to get into audio for the first time, but it has all the capabilities of streaming and internet radio and different other platforms, Pandora, Deezer, those Spotify, those types of things that the younger generation and even the core audiophile are starting to embrace as being a platform to listen to music.
Yes, more and more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for all the insights, and thank you very much for having such a nice display at the show.
Thank you.
And other than that, I wish you a good rest of the show, and hope you enjoy your stay in Germany.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.